All right. Please put your hands together for Steve, everybody.
Boy Meets World Karma. Corey can't rebel without both his parents and some higher power, maybe Mr. Feeney, finding out about it and piling on the consequences. The story, first of all, to quote Busta Rhymes, circa 1998, where my B words is at, where the F word, my B words is at. I'm white. I've always been white. I'm unrhythmic. I'm super sheltered. All right, maybe it's not that I'm white. I'm kind of a huge nerd. And I've never been much of a fighter. Like, I've always had the body of an Eastern European street orphan. Like, you can see my ribs, but I have the hunger stomach going on. And I don't know when it happened or why it happened, but sometime when I was a high schooler growing up in Northeast Philadelphia, I got really, really into gangster rap. Like, so into it, I thought I knew what DMX meant when he said, "That's how Rough Riders roll." And so, you know, I grew up like in a relatively good Catholic household. Like, we could eat the marshmallows and the Lucky Charms as long as we were willing to own up to it later in confession. And at some point, now this is a metaphor for this story, this never actually happened, but have you guys seen The Lion King? So you know that point when Mufasa brings Simba out on Pride Rock? My mom kind of did that to me with the Roosevelt Boulevard in Northeast Philadelphia. And, you know, and she said, Steve, all that the boulevard touches is your kingdom. And I said, Mom, what is that dark place over there? And she said, that's the Roosevelt Mall. You must never go there. But in my mind, I was like, whatever, Mom, that's how Rough Riders roll. So one night, my friends and I went to the Roosevelt Mall. And we saw this guy, this guy's a little bit older than us, but still probably a teenager, dropping loners and kind of laughing with his friends and moving on. And so as the night went on, you know, Roosevelt Mall is a trashy strip mall in Northeast Philadelphia, and we were about to make a turn at a corner, and as we make that turn, this group of hooligans and his friends make the same turn, and my friends see him, and adrenaline starts coursing through our veins, and adrenaline will typically tell you to do one of two things, right? Fight or flight. My friends flew like hell. Adrenaline gave me a third option. I dropped down in the fetal position and began throwing anything I could from my pockets up at this guy, and he's kicking me with his steel-tipped boots, and I'm beginning to realize that this is probably not how Rough Riders roll. And a car pulls up about 2 feet away from my head, and already my voice is very often, by over-the-phone customer service reps, mistaken for a woman's, and it raises like 2 or 3 octaves when he says, "Were you messing with my boy?" And I said, "No, I'm sorry." And he punches me twice in the face, and I kind of stumble into the Wendy's that's right there, and I'm dizzy, and I'm thinking in my head, like, where my B words is at? Where the F word, my B words is at? Epilogue. While I wanted my life to be like a Vice-filled Biggie track, it was probably more along the lines of a TGIF theme song where the lesson is learned in time for snack and bed. Thank you.
You killed me with your Simba.